I have come here to chew bubblegum and vacuum seal ammo, and I'm all out of bubblegum. All the way like that. Whoa. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Hey, what's up YouTube? Double Law Josh coming at you guys today with my 90-second vacuum sealing video, and today we're going to switch it up just a little bit. I know last time I showed you guys the American Eagle 556 62 grain FMJ. This time we're going with the American Eagle 556 55 grain FMJ, and so to begin we're going to need to take some measurements. So here's the bag from the previous video, and when you look at the bag itself, you'll see that you need about 4 inches of seal for this top portion of the bag here, and then you'll need about 1 inch of bag for this bottom part. Okay, so keep those two measurements in mind, and let's go ahead and crack open this box. Alright, I got my knife out, and let's cut open the sealed off portions along the side here. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the cartridge first, of course. A lot of you guys are already pretty familiar with this, but here it is. It's looking pretty good. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a measurement of the overall length, and it's going to be the same as the 62 grain green tip, of course, which is about 2 1/4 inches. Alright, so when you take those three measurements, you know, the 4 inches plus the 1 inch from the bag itself plus the 2 1/4 from the cartridge itself, you come up with about 7 1/4 inches. So let's go ahead and cut that out of our bag up top here. It's about 7 1/4 inches. Alright, that looks about good. Alright, here's the cut. It looks pretty even. It's not perfect, but I don't think that really matters. And so what we have right here is just kind of like a sleeve. It's not quite a bag yet because it's open on two ends, and we need to feed it into the machine. And when you look at the side, you'll see that it curls down, and you want to make sure, or I'm sorry, it curls, and the part that curls down is the way that we're going to feed it into the machine. And if you're not too sure which side is the part that should be on the bottom, you notice how this is like clear or kind of like smooth, and then you have a textured part. Well, the transparent part should be the part on the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. So the machine was left on from the previous video, and what we're going to go ahead and do is press seal. You'll see the red light of death, as I always call it, and I'm going to go ahead and feed it into the machine here, and I'm going to try to make it I'm going to try to feed it in as evenly as possible is what I was trying to say there. Alright, let's take a look at our seal. Yeah, looks pretty good. Alright, so the instructions say to wait at least 20 seconds for the machine to cool down. But for this video, that's not really relevant because we need to add the cartridges to this bag. But just in case you're wondering, it's 6:27:18, 18 seconds. And so what I'm going to do, just like in the previous videos, is I'm going to make just a single row of cartridges along the bottom of the bag here. And the other thing I want to mention is, as I'm loading them up, I'm going to flip directions on them. So, you know, one bullet's facing one primer, and for the next one, the exact same thing, bullet facing primer, and so on and so forth, just like that. All right, and I'm going to speed this up, of course. I really doubt anybody wants to watch the unedited version. Oh, and guys, I forgot to mention, we have to also be kind of aware of the way we're going to feed it into the machine. So I'm going to try to keep the bag on the table as much as possible. You know, if you lift it up, all the cartridges are just going to get all mixed together. So I'm going to try to just leave it on the table like this. And of course, we have the clear side on the bottom and the textured side on top. And that's the way we're going to feed it into the machine in just a moment. So let me just get those 25 rounds in here. Alright, I think that might be 25, but let's just give it a quick count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
Alright, so yeah, that's 25 rounds. So the next thing is, I like to kind of massage the ammo inside the bag, for lack of a better word, or kind of work them in and make sure they're nice and even in there. And yeah, you don't want any jetting out too far and, you know, poking holes in the bag or anything like that. And yeah, just kind of massage them in there, make sure they're nice and flat, well seated, I guess you could say. Alright, you know what, that looks pretty good. Alright, and so the next thing is we're going to go ahead and feed it inside the machine. Oop. Yeah, I think my OCD is just kicking in a little bit. Alright, so yeah, we're ready to go ahead and feed it inside the machine. And like I mentioned earlier, we have the smooth side, or the transparent side, on the bottom here, so it's oriented correctly on the bag. And then one last thing is, I'm just kind of shoving the cartridges down just a little bit, not too rough, of course, because I don't want them to puncture the bag here. All right. I think this should be pretty good. Okay, so as I feed it inside the machine, I'm going to pull the two edges along here nice and tight, and this one's not, okay, that one down here is being kind of like, let me just do something really quick, see if this will kind of even things out. Alright, I think that should be pretty good now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is pull the bag nice and taut, as close to the cartridges as possible as I feed inside the machine. And as soon as the machine starts working, I'm going to give the whole thing a shove forward to give the machine as much slack as possible. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, and it just released it, so let's take a look at the top seal. Alright, that looks pretty good. And the bottom seal looks pretty good. Cartridges looking beautiful as always. Man, just look at that. Alright guys, I don't really have anything else to say, so I'm going to cut it right here. As always, thanks for watching, subscribing, and have a good night.